What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the place where you can find the latest NFT trends and the most reliable NFT content for entrepreneurs and investors. This is your favorite new friend, Kango Lin. This week, we hopped on a call with the Bored Ape number 9773, Cyrus. Cyrus is the founder at ShopX. And today, I interviewed this crypto OG, this NFT OG, about NFTs and how he is using NFT to transform the e-commerce industry. And let's tune in and find out. And he's also revealing his giveaway today in our podcast. I am really excited. It's a long one, but it's a juicy, very juicy one.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yo, what's up, dude? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, dude. Hey, thanks for.
You can hear me okay, right?
Yeah, everything's good. Thanks for being a little patient. It's just,
Dude,
stacking sats.
Yo, stacking sats. We got to talk about that later. But anyway, let's start this, man. Welcome to the show, Cyrus. Welcome to Above the JPEG. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me, dude. It's good seeing you, man. And like the little halo.
Yeah, because today I'm in Capital Factory, and I just figured this whole place just fits this little light thing above my head. But are you in Miami right now?
Yeah, I'm in Miami at the Cyrus HQ.
Cyrus HQ. At this view is pretty killer on the right side of your view. It's pretty good, man.
Oh yeah, thanks, dude. I'm blessed to have a really nice view of Miami, downtown, the stadium. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Cyrus, last time we met, we were still in Austin, and you invited me to a dinner with your friends. It was super cool. And you mentioned about something. You mentioned a lot about the current state of NFT crypto. I know you have been a long-term. You've been a person in the crypto space for a while now. And you certainly mentioned some really incredible stuff with NFTs and e-commerce. So starting off, why don't you give us a little intro on, how you get into crypto, what was your previous history? What did you do before crypto and all that?
Oh yeah, for sure. All the boring stuff.
No, it's not boring.
I'm just
because for the audience out there, right? For us, we're just thinking, who is this guy? How does Cyrus create a ShopX, right? Because we got to get the ShopX. It's so cool.
Yeah. All right. I'm Batman. No, I'm just kidding. So all right. So let's backtrack a little bit. I'm born in the States, originally from Princeton, Jersey. Played hockey growing up. So I'm a hockey player for all y'all out there. And then I moved to Cali for undergrad and grad. I went to UCI. One of my boys got into Bitcoin in 2014. He sent me this Coinbase link, and he had a website called
2013?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
That's early.
So he had this website called CoinCrack. And it would like resell like tweets and stuff like that, but using crypto as like the form of payment. So he's like, dude, you got to get into this Bitcoin thing. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I looked into it. I got one. Just
how much was that?
It's kind of cool. It was just under $1,000 through Coinbase. Yeah. Just a BTC though. Like no big deal. No.
Sir, so far
you're
still ranking the number 2 earliest got into Bitcoin on the podcast, man.
all right, that's cool. Hey, but you know what? This is not a competition, but I'll definitely be number 1 in getting into NFTs because I pioneered NFTs. I was like one of the first people ever to mint an NFT.
I remember you mentioned that you were in NFT before NFT was a term.
Yeah. That's a fun story we'll get into a little later. But yeah, I'll give a shout out to my boy Kyle Chase. I met him a few times. He's running Master Ventures and Paid. He got into Bitcoin quite early too. When I talked to him, he was like one of the earliest people. And then also Mike Riley, who's one of our Web3 lead engineers. He was super early. He was selling Bitcoin at $1 thinking he's like, oh my God, this thing got to $1. I gotta sell. Like, yeah,
That's
shout out
crazy.
to my
That's
boys.
gonna
Yeah.
rank number one.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Well, it's important that you surround yourself with like, really good people who really understand what they're doing, who got into like this technology early on. Because like, for the newer people that are getting into this space, like, it's really important who you learn your information from. Like there's a lot of good information out there in crypto Twitter and YouTube, but there's also a lot of noise, right? And it's really,
100%.
what is the intention behind why somebody's in crypto or blockchain? That's the key. And while everybody likes going to the moon, and I like my moonshot, don't get me wrong, like everybody else, but blockchain is rooted in freedom. There is a prophecy that we have to fulfill. There's a movement that Satoshi created, where it's about getting our freedom back as humanity, and not being sucked into corporatism or greed, or debt, for instance. So there's a lot we could talk about. But hey, let me finish your original question, dude, and I'll wrap this up really quick in like 30 seconds. So I used to work in a tier 2 brokerage firm selling CDOs and mortgage-backed securities on the secondary market. So I got to see how the collapse of or in my first recession back in 2007, 2008, I got to see how that happened firsthand. I went back to college. I had dropped out of college because I was making too much money when I was like 18 or
Wow.
19. Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I went back to school. I went to University of California, Irvine. I went there for economics and informatics degree.
Nice.
And
I lived in Bunna Park for a while.
Oh yeah, so OC, dude. Yeah, OC is a great place.
I love
Really
OC.
like that area. Yeah. So I went back to school, and then I got a job at Deloitte Consulting, and I pivoted my career into tech. Because I mean, I was the type of kid that would like build my own computers as a kid,
You're
and
one of those
I burned a.
geniuses.
I don't want to. Yeah, it's not necessarily like that I view myself as a genius. Hey, maybe I am, but probably I
I
don't
think
know.
you
But
are. I think you are.
thanks. But you know what I really do look at myself as like I'm insatiable with my curiosity. I'm just so curious, and I like to learn, and I just want to try and take whatever I learn and apply it, right? Applied learning. So that's one of like the things that I find myself to constantly be in those patterns of learning, curiosity, what's happening, what's going on, and then from there it's like sharing it too, right? Like you want to be able to share it. But anyway, like back to wrapping up my story. Work, self-taught myself how to code. So learned a little bit of coding, build computers. Played a lot of CS 1.6 for all you all out there. That shows my age. Counter Strike 1.6. Before like all these first-person shooters, way before Call of Duty or anything like that. So then, I worked at Deloitte Consulting doing e-commerce and digital marketing implementations for enterprises, and that's where I learned a lot about e-commerce. And then in 2014, 15, I quit Deloitte, started, building a couple startups. In 2016, got introduced into blockchain technologies while I was getting my MBA at UCI, actually. And then, actually, I got introduced to Ethereum because I had Bitcoin already. And Ethereum I just went down the rabbit hole, man. I was like, wow, this is more than just a financial currency. This is technology, right?
You can
And
build
it's
stuff now.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing I was most excited about because I like building shit. I'm a builder. And then 2017 minted my first NFT on the Ropsten testnet. 2017 was when I started building the first POC for ShopX. And then 2018,
Wait,
2019 went through
what?
the
You
bear
started
market.
in 2017? Shop has started in 2017, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, what? Dude, you gotta get us the ShopX, because that's
All
what
right.
that's what really shocked me when you. This is one of the couple of very rare use cases, true use cases that I see people are deploying NFT to today, right? I mean, there's tons of stuff that we can use NFTs for, but I don't see enough use cases that are just so. When I hear about ShopX, I was like, wow, that makes total sense, right? You
Yeah,
explain over a
yeah.
dinner table, but would love to have you explain to the audience today.
All right. So there are two different types of NFTs, and I'll explain exactly how both of them work, really, in my opinion. So the first NFT, which is a little bit more on the lower hanging fruit, is what I started in 2016 with an idea in 2017, which is serialization, like creating a category or catalog of all the goods in the world as represented on the blockchain as an NFT. And you're like, well, why would I care about that? Well, I mean, there's brand protection, IP protection, there's search and distribution, there is ability to trace and track things like through like supply chain and everything like that. So the first version of ShopX, or at least like in my mind, that as I was building, it was called Split back in the day. All right, let me tell you the story. So, I bought Bitcoin in 2014, but didn't read the white paper until 2017. So when I read the white paper in 2017, the greatest innovation that I thought that came out of Bitcoin that could be applied to numerous things in our society was the ability to remove middlemen, right? A third party like the bank, but it was to prevent the double spend problem. Meaning, like, I cannot take one Bitcoin and send it to two people. And living in a digital age where, I grew up in the 90s and we didn't really have, I mean, we had computers, but it wasn't as like, profound as they are today. But like, yeah, like it's so easy to copy and paste everything. So I was like, wow, the ability to create a digital asset or digital good that cannot be duplicated or replicated, it like blew my mind. I was like, dude, that's one of the greatest innovations that came out of Bitcoin with blockchain technology. And while I was working at Deloitte, one of the biggest issues that some of these brands would run into is, they would have one item for sale and they would want to sell it throughout like 20 different distribution channels, right? So back in the day, you had like retail, like brick and mortar, and then you had the .com boom, and then you had your own .com. Still like two channels, omni-channel, right? Still on my website, still on my brick and mortar store. But like 2005, you had affiliate marketing through like Commission Junction, Share, Sell. eBay became popular. They had their own like stores for big brands now. Then there was Amazon. Then there was influencer marketing, and it felt like drop shipping. All of a sudden, you had 20, 30 different places your items could be sold, and they all had different systems. They all had different databases. They all had different architectures. So like these companies would sell through these multiple channels to maximize their chances of finding a customer. But the issue was they want to reconcile all of that transactional data until the transaction happened, the customer had paid, it got put in a queue to go back into their order management system. The queue would go through until that order came up, and there might be like 5, 10 thousands of transactions that were done on that item that only had inventory one and it sold. So I will call that the double sell problem in e-commerce.
Double sell problem.
And I was like, bro, if Bitcoin could solve the double spend problem, then I could solve the double sell problem in e-commerce. And the idea of an NFT came up. I was like, hey, if I could tokenize each specific item, UPC or SKU, as their own unique asset on chain, if that item sold, and you can even have like multiple variations of the same item, right? So like I was even thinking about element 55s before. I think it was what was that company called? Sorry, you could excuse my language. Engine. Yeah, Engine was it was a cool thing. Like I got into a bunch of ICOs and ideas in 2016, 2017, but Engine was one of them. They're a really cool company. They innovated the L55, and then Dieter, who's at Flow now in Top Shot. In 2018, a year after I minted my first NFT, he had an EIP for the 721s that got through. And that's how you got an ERC 721.
So your NFT is basically an object. It's getting a little technical here, but it's basically you put an object on the blockchain.
Yeah. That's how we designed it in 2017. This is a fun story. Because there was no 721 standard or
there's no standard.
Right. So like I had to create my own standard. So the first one I was like, hey, if I need to create a unique asset on chain, and back then the ERC20 was a thing, I was like, oh, what if we just created an ERC20 token with a supply of one, but then tied to one physical item, right? So that was the first time. That was the first thing we did. But then working with one of my partners back then, his name was Josh. He and I were like, he's like, no, we can make our own standard by creating a unique token. We didn't call it an NFT back then. We just called it a unique token. And that unique that unique token was like, because the way we were thinking about it was unique IDs, UIDs, and UIDs are they're not like necessarily an uncommon term, but the problem with UIDs is they could be duplicated, right, in traditional Web2 systems. But this unique token idea that we had in 2017 couldn't be duplicated, right? So here's the coolest thing. Now you have one or multiple of these unique tokens or NFTs that are living on this database. And if multiple marketplaces or brands or websites connect into the same database, we could synchronize all of the database and all of the inventory across multiple websites in real time. So we're building this global inventory of goods for sale all in real time. And then guess what? You can encode transactional data into the NFT. So like if the NFT gets sold by one person, then you have all of the transactional data that you could pay affiliates, you could pay finders fees, you could pay affiliate fees, you could pay everything on chain in real time. You have this precise and perfect attribution
right.
system.
You're talking about royalties. Similar to.
Yeah, dude, we were building this royalty system on chain on Ethereum back in 2017. Crazy. Yeah, so that's how the whole thing got started. So that's one type of NFT, right? An NFT to represent something on chain, it's something unique, right?
That's right.
Now the second type of NFT is something a little bit more involved than that. So these NFTs are like they could be tradable, but their inherent value is tied to the physical product, right? Like this water bottle, for instance. By the way, I got some ShopX stickers, so next time you see me,
I need to get some. I need to get some.
I'll hook it up. Yeah, just remind me. But yeah, like I could tokenize this product on chain, and it could have a lot of great use cases for distribution from like a business or supply chain or B2B. But as a consumer, okay, cool, I have this NFT. It's kind of like a proof of receipt or proof of authenticity, depending on what type of item you're buying, that you can prove you bought it. There's value in that, but again, it's just a little low-hanging fruit. It's more about bringing efficiencies into our distribution models for commerce. The second type of NFT is my favorite. This is where it gets really crazy, and this is what we innovated about a couple of years ago.
Blow our mind right now, dude.
All right, so the next type of NFT really revolves around membership and loyalty. So it's really redefining the economics of how e-commerce works. And so like right now, most e-commerce is set by the parameters and KPIs that Wall Street has imposed on them. We need to see more daily active users. We need to see lower customer acquisition costs, higher LTV. We need to see more sales. And at some point that bubble is going to burst. Like our whole Wall Street model set up today with the stock market is a bubble. It's the biggest bubble. It's bigger than any bubble Bitcoin has ever seen. It's bigger than any real estate bubble we've ever seen, because at some point, every person in the world's going to have an iPhone. Then what the fuck are you selling them next? Right? It's like, you're going to sell people 2 iPhones then? Like the model at some point it's going to end, right? Everybody in the world is going to have the products. So like, then what, right? The whole idea of selling more and maximizing shareholder profit, there's an issue in this model. And I don't hate capitalism. Capitalism brought a lot of innovation and a lot of ways for people to be able to, put out their creativity and innovation and get rewarded for it. And I do want people to get rewarded for their innovation. So it's not about that, but it's like, wait a second, there's more to life. There's more to life than just maximizing profits or getting more and more and more. I mean, it's one of the deadly sins. It's like, what was one of the deadly sins?
Indulgence or something, huh? Something like you basically let yourself do whatever you want, right? Do too much.
Indulging too much. Yeah, it's like for oh my god, when you're eating, you eat too much. There was a word for it.
7 deadly sin. I think this. What are the 7 deadly sins?
Yeah, there was
like
something
to search
about
things up.
All right, I'm gonna search it too.
Is it greed, lust,
greed is one.
Gluttony.
Yeah, gluttony. Yeah. So like, when you eat too much gluttony, you start to explode. That's the bubble I'm talking about. And that's what these corporations are doing. They're eating too much, and that's unhealthy, right? That is part of greed, but it's like, like I could, if corporations are like, sometimes like compared to humans or like a person, right? Actually, that's the law sees a corporation as a person, right?
Yeah.
They could also be gluttonous and eat too much. And when you
Oh,
eat too much, you're going to
interesting. Yeah.
vomit. Yeah. So with that, I feel like this new concept of conscious capitalism, right? Like, what about what you're doing for other people, your community? What are you doing for the earth, for the planet, and all this kind of stuff, right? So there's other KPIs we can encode into a conscious capitalistic society, moving away from the stock market, which is all predicated on more sales, more greed. So with that, there is this NFT. Think of it this way. I'm a brand. I make water bottles, right?
That's
I
right.
sell, let's say, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to sell like, 50,000, 100,000, a million NFTs. It doesn't matter, right? You just come up with a number. That's the amount of people that I want to be able to service. And the free market will decide how many of those NFTs will be, right? You'd be like, hey, for 1 year, I'm going to sell X amount of, like NFTs, and whoever comes and buys, and all of a sudden you have 50,000 or 100,000 or a million customers. That's fine. But the point is, when you have your foundation in your community, instead of trying to get more and more customers by being like, oh, click this, get this for free, get here, whatever. And people are just like, subconsciously buying, right? There's no intention, there's no connection behind it, right?
That's
But
me. I'm
instead,
a victim.
you try to strengthen your community, right? As a brand, instead of trying to expand and expand, you strengthen, you build those connections. And guess what? Now that you have an NFT, let's say you sell those NFTs for 1 ETH or $1,000, right? You the
Mhm.
denominated in any currency you want. And let's say your brand starts to blow up, like you build the illest stuff, the sickest stuff. Everybody wants this new water bottle because they have these like ShopX, like little logos and everything on them. All of a sudden, right? Like more people want in. So it's just basic, supply, demand, and economics. When you're supply, and dude, I always think of here. I'm gonna draw something for you. This is really fun.
I'm
I still
excited.
think like an economist.
Every time you talk, it blows my mind, honestly, dude. You're just so smart. I need to, dude, this is so genius.
All right. So this is a typical demand curve. Sorry, you guys are seeing, my Nordstrom card. But you have a demand and supply curve with quantity and price. However, guess what? In an NFT system, you could create another curve where the supply is a straight line that goes up, and your price is on a slope, right? And the way this works is, instead of following these lines and trying to find something, because then you create dead weight loss. Sorry, we need a whiteboard, man. I could whiteboard some cool ass shit for you at some point. Maybe in one of the next ones we'll do a whiteboard. So
I gotta
if you have
get
a
you back.
line, yeah, if you have a line, let's say you produce at this quantity. Sorry, I have my quantity and price flipped. Sorry. So if you produce at this price and at that quantity, that means the shaded area is dead weight loss. There's an inefficient market. Now, in this system, on the right, there isn't any inefficiencies. You're just producing at equilibrium. Now, you could shift the demand curve up if there's more demand, right? So I'll draw a new line, or you could shift it down, right? If the demand goes down. But if you notice that there's still no dead weight loss, there's no triangle that's creating an inefficient economy. So the thing is, if I buy this NFT for $1,000 to be a customer at this company, which means I cannot buy anything unless I own the company's NFT to be a customer customer at this company. Let's say a year later that the amount of people that want these water bottles doubles. Well, my NFT is now worth $2,000. So your community, your customers will also see the rising tide of your brand going up in the ranks. So they will also be part of this monetization and making money. And guess what? They're going to go out there and support your brand 10 times more because they have an invested interest in you, right? So instead of trying to expand and get more customers and DAUs and daily active users, and by the way, look at what happened in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is broken, dude. BlockFi, they were a $4.41 billion valuation to a Series A last year. And they just got sold for what, like 25 or $250 million. I think FTX bought them.
Oh, really?
At a major discount. Yeah, dude. See, like that stuff breaks my heart. It's like, yeah, all these VCs might have gotten wrecked, but how many times did VCs pull the rug out on retail, go public, and then public comes in and buys the stock, and then stock price goes way the F down? Look at Coinbase, man. Yeah, it's a disaster. Look at like Netflix and some of these other stocks, Shopify. How, like, dude,
it's pretty unethical sometimes. I look at this, I'm like, you didn't know this is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
But okay, it's interesting. A second type of NFT, always producing equilibrium, because I think most of the audience here knows about economics. So we're always producing at an equilibrium because the supply doesn't really change. So whatever the demand changes, we're always at equilibrium. I see. It's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
Not the price is really dependent on if the community, it's not even the brand. It's going to be a community driven thing. If the brand and its community, you take care of your community will take care of the brand, right? So you could create these really intimate and unique experiences that completely changes the economics, or I like to call clickonomics, of e-commerce, because it's not about sending traffic and bots and all of that stuff goes away, because you can't even bot NFTs, right? You need an NFT to be able to sign a transaction. Bots can't do it. You remove all of those inefficiencies, all of that gray area out of e-commerce, and you're able to build this self-sustaining e-commerce ecosystem built around an NFT relationship between a brand and a consumer. And that's what we're calling e-commerce NFTs, or ENFTs, right? That e-commerce NFT, that consumer then is also part of the community and the economics of the brand. And you just build a really beautiful system. That's the prophecy we're fulfilling at ShopX, and that's what I'm really excited about. And that's why I wake up at like 5:30 every morning, just so ready to go, man. I'm relentless, dude. Wake up every day. I was like, dude, I don't got a lot of time, man. Like, I'm just like, I gotta go. I gotta build. I gotta innovate. I gotta lead. I gotta like evangelize people. I feel like I'm Morpheus from the Matrix, like just going around and like, awakening a bunch of people's minds about how like life could be, because everybody's a Neo. Like, you're a Neo, bro. Like, everybody is a Neo. You just got to remember it, because we've kind of forgotten through like Western media and the news and all this like brainwashed crap that we like look at, that like we're living in scarcity and everything is bad and yada yada. Yeah, well, no, we could live in abundance within our boundaries, right? So set up a proper, healthy boundary system, like this new e-commerce system built by ShopX.
It's interesting.
Everybody's a Neo.
100%. ShopX, dude. This is so amazing, man. This is so amazing. I can't wait. How do people follow ShopX? How do people follow? Where can they follow the journey?
We're really active everywhere. So a couple things. Follow ShopX, and all our handles is ShopX Labs, LABS, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
I get all linked. I now ask again that when the show is ending, all right? But dude, so what do you think the future of e-commerce, the user experience will look like? Like, just is it gonna be very similar to what we have today, except it's gonna be very efficient, or what does it look like, man?
Yeah, all right, dude. Another really fun conversation and another Matrix reference. All right, so I'm gonna paint the picture. Neo gets into the Matrix for like one of the first times, right? And it was when him and Trinity was going to go to to save Morpheus from the agents, right? So Neo's in the Matrix and he's like, I need guns. And then, the operator in the Matrix is like, okay, coming right up. And he doesn't move. And a row of guns just show up. I mean, you got to find this clip and like put it into this. I'll send it to you so you can kind of like video edit it into this, dude. It's such a sick clip. So all of a sudden, with his thought, right, and his desire, everything that Neo wanted just showed up in front of him, right? So what the future of e-commerce is going to look like, it doesn't matter what website you go to. It doesn't matter what UI you're using. If everything is plugged into the same database, we're creating something called endless aisle. Imagine that. There is an endless aisle of shit or goods or services that you want, and it's there at your fingertips, and you're able to manifest it, instantly, because everything is just, it works together.
Because it's all using the blockchain same identity. Is that the reason why?
Yeah, everything is serialized using another type of NFT, the unique ID NFTs, which we're calling retail NFTs or RNFTs. So those NFTs will then be able to be manifested to users no matter what user experience, user interface, website, it doesn't matter. It's search and distribution will create this concept called endless aisle, and that experience is going to be so cool. And then guess what? Checkout's going to change. Right? Checkout is so old school today, man. Like, oh, I got to type in all this information. I got to do all this kind of stuff. Imagine if you have something called a soul bond token. This is one of those new tokens that Vitalik was saying.
It's new, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So you have the soul bond token. The soul bond token has all your information encoded, right? And you could do a bunch of zero knowledge proofs and all that kind of stuff to protect your information identity, blah, blah, whatever. But and then using an L2 Starkware. Big shout out to Starkware. I'm looking at you guys, dude. I'm manifesting this right now. We're like Starkware and what they're building with their L2 system, which is basically a massive smart contract that creates a registry for all NFTs. It's one of the most amazing technologies and innovations that's come out. And ShopX, I'm really pushing to get that ShopX on that L2 and that L2 could create an L3 that has a private chain, that has another zero knowledge truth that goes up. So dude, there's a lot of cool stuff we could do. But to answer your question, the future of e-commerce is going to look like this. Metaverse is going to be a part of it, absolutely, right? But that's going to just be another experience. That's not the core foundation. The core foundation of it's going to be an endless aisle, right? That lets me get anything I ever want at the tap of my fingertips.
Yeah.
And my checkout experience is going to be similar to Uniswap, right? So if I have a soulbound token that already has everything that I have ever, encoded with my address, shipping, and all that kind of stuff, and I go there and I find something I want, I could just click swap, and it swaps some tokens, whether it's the form of payment in ETH or whatever.
It's a lot easier. It's a lot faster.
Yeah, so much easier, so much more cool.
So much faster.
So that's the future of e-commerce. I'm envisioning and seeing. It's going to be super seamless, super fun, and you're going to be able to get a digital copy of it, and you could equip it in your metaverses, or put it as your PFP as soon as you buy it. Because again, like I said, there's multiple types of NFTs, right? There's an NFT for identity. There's an NFT for membership loyalty, creating this new e-commerce system.
That's right.
And there's an NFT for unique serialization. So I guess there's really like 3, maybe 4 types of NFTs. But
I think identity in itself is its own problem to tackle, right? But would you think this will be more efficient than data mining that we are using today?
Well, depends on how do you define data mining. Like, are you talking about
in a way where the big companies mine our data and they recommend us the things that we want to buy, right? So that's sort of like the endless aisle.
Well, yeah, kind of, right? Because the endless aisles, you're empowered. You're empowered to decide what your endless aisle looks like, right? However, look, data mining today, there's always a good and a bad, right? The bad is data mining was used to exploit people, sell their third-party data to monetize Web 2, because there was no way to monetize Web 2, right? Everything is free. Well, there's no such thing as everything being free. Who's paying for all the server costs and all the development costs at Facebook, right? Somebody has to foot the bill, right? That comes through that mining your data, selling it to third parties to monetize their Web 2 system. Now, Web 3 changes that whole paradigm, right? Web 3 says now we have this new form of remuneration, which is a token. And tokens can be the form of having people, pay or get remunerated for what they're doing. So I see, like, this is still a little fuzzy exactly how this is going to play out. And there's a couple of companies that tried that failed. And there's a couple companies I know trying right now, and that's okay if you fail. By the way, failure is not a bad thing, guys. It's okay to fail. It's about being honest with yourself, being transparent with the community and sharing what you learn, and then taking that failure and turning it into something better on the next iteration. So for those who fail out there, don't stop, guys. Keep on going. Keep on going. It's part of the process of creating a success. It's a few failures add up to a success. But back to what I was saying, it's going to create a system where, as a user, I could opt in to share my data, because look, personalization also came from data mining, meaning that I opted in, or like in Web2 you didn't have an opt-in. You're just auto.
That's right. You're like automatically in. Oh, I
right.
see what you mean now. Okay, I see what you mean now, bro.
I could opt in and have the use case of personalization help me find the products that I like.
Yeah.
And I could get paid for it. Right.
Yeah.
So like brands would be like, hey, if you give us your data, we will then return, and then we could create a tokenomic model around that. No one's really cracked that code yet. And ShopX is not that. ShopX is building a membership and license using our tokens for
Gotcha.
So that's not what we're doing. We're
the
not,
tokenomic is tricky, I talked to a lot of people and it's tricky.
The advertising is a fine line, but if there's any smart minds out there that are working on this and they want an advisor, I don't even need money. I just do this shit because I love it. I really want to make an impact on the world and leave a good legacy 100%. For my kids and future generations. Hit me up, Cyrus Kind, CYRUSKIND on Twitter
Cyrus,
or any other.
Cyrus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay, I know we're gonna announce the winner today. We're gonna announce the winner today, right, for the giveaway on your Twitter. Should we leave that to the end?
Yeah, let's leave that to the end.
Leave it to the end. But now it's a couple quick questions, right? I know we're towards the end of this interview, and I just want to throw some quick questions, fire questions right now. Okay, dude. So I know you have a Bored Ape Yacht Club. What is the experience? What is the experience? What are the coolest experience of having a Bored Ape?
All right. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what the coolest experience is. So I'm part of the Bored Ape Yacht Club Discord channel, and all the other Bored Apes and Mutant Apes, they all hang out there and everything like that. And like there was this one thing, I forgot what it was. Like I was saying I was in Miami. I get a DM from this guy. He's like, "Hey, bro, you're in Miami. Like we're part of Bored Ape Yacht Club. We're having a little Bored Ape get together with all the locals here in Miami." And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. This guy just reached out to me." So I hit him over. It was kind of late, but I was like, I don't care. Let's go meet some cool people. I go there. So I go to a restaurant in Miami called Komodo. So okay, the story's even more crazy, dude. So I go there and I'm meeting up with all these guys that are super cool. We're just sitting there having a chat. I got there a little late. Had some food and had a drink, and it wasn't even about the money. I was like, hey, let me pay my stuff. No, whatever. Like you'll pay next time. So I really like that sort of like camaraderie, and it's about the experience and not getting all tangled up into like the sense of who owes what or whatever. But this guy, my boy Anthony, I have to say this, he was super cool. And as we were there, he's like, all right, let me order this dessert. And at Komodo, you cannot order a dessert unless you own the Komodo NFT. That was a dragon egg. So like I'm sitting there with this like Bored Ape guy, and he's like, hey dude, let's order this dessert. And he's like, he pulls up his phone, he authenticates his NFT, shows it to the waitress, and the waitress is like, all right, we're gonna get, and then like people were asking, they're like, what is this? And they come out with this like, dragon. Like there was like all like the waitresses and waiters were all like, carrying, like Chinese like culture, like when they're having like the parades, they're like holding this long dragon, and and they're coming out with this thing. And at the end of the dragon, there was like these like 5 dragon eggs, and they bring it out and they melt it, and inside was like, like chocolate and like decadent like cake and everything like that. We're just having a good time. Yeah, dude, it was token gated desserts at a restaurant. So that's what the Bored Ape Yacht Club is. It's just like a bunch of selfless people who are really cool. And I'm sure there's like, others that, have had different experiences, but at least experiences that I was able to manifest through that communities. Like even I wrote in one time, I'm like, hey guys, I need some help with the designer. Right. And then like a ton of people just like filled up my DMs. They're like, hey bro, I got you. Here's this, or here's this, or I'll help you out. Like, man, like the whole community is super cool. Like everybody's there just to help each other out. It's kind of like Soho House, or like, Capital Factory or whatever, that whole membership model where instead of me having to pay them and I lose my money every year, is that I paid a membership and I keep it as the more people get in.
Yeah.
Meets Coachella, right? Because like now, I got to pay to go to Coachella, but me and one of my best friends, TJ, who's also my co-founder at ShopX, where like I took him to Ape Fest for the first time. I went last year, but I was able to take him this year. He
Oh,
was at
nice.
NFT NYC with me,
Yeah.
and he's like, "Bro, this is so sick!" And we got to see a bunch of artists coming up on stage, and like we had drinks. Everything was comped just because I owned the Bored Ape. You know, like it's literally Soho House meets Coachella,
Dude, that's
and
so cool. Oh my
I
God.
got 30,000 family and friends that I know all around the world between mutant ape holders and Bored Ape
Oh,
members,
dude.
that if I find one, it's like, hey, we got something in common, right? And
Yeah.
there is that commonality that we get to know each other and we become friends, and it's a really cool feeling, man. I could go
Dude, it's
anywhere in the
you,
world.
and you're with a whole bunch of people who are really passionate about this NFT idea, and they got it early, right? So they
Yeah,
understood this from the beginning when
yeah.
no one else actually understood this. My goodness, dude, that's so cool, man. I'm glad I asked that. And I know you do a little bit investing. What is something that you're excited about investing recently? Not investment
Wow.
advice, by the way, guys. There's no
Yeah,
financial advice here.
and NFA for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go with one that really did, you know, open up my eyes, and I've seen it all, man. I like, so like I said, I got
I
in
bet.
early in 2016, so I got to see the ICO boom in 2016, 2017. You know, like I got to see EOS, and I got to see you know, Neo, or before Neo was even Neo, was called Ant Shares, and I had Ant Shares, and I had like Ant Gas. I forgot what the gas was called for Ant Shares, but like I was super early with all these L1s, and you know, none of them really got me excited except for Waves. Waves is really great, and they're still around, and I think they have one of the better technologies for blockchains. But I'm going to tell you, there's one that's coming up that really blew my mind, and it's called Prasaga. And Prasaga, there's a couple reasons why I really like them. From a technical standpoint, they're taking a different approach on L1s, and they're removing smart contracts, but still using blockchain technology. And I think something called a gossip protocol that ensures that there's still like
Oh yeah.
Byzantine tolerant fault. And on top of that, the people behind that organization are doing it right. They built it as a nonprofit. They've started to think through all of the things that have gone wrong with blockchain or with currencies in general. Like holding on to money for too long is a bad thing. Money was created to be traded and spent, not to be hoarded, right? And that's one of the issues that we run into in our current, you know, economic model, is that people hoarded money and they passed it on from generation to generation. And some of these kids, like, yeah, I'm not going to call out all trust fund babies as like, you know, people who don't innovate, but you know, they don't have an incentive to innovate, right? So like they
Yeah.
have all the money, so they just kind of spend the money, and they don't, yeah, they add to GDP, but what value are they really adding to society to move it forward? And but there are some other people that do great things too. So it's not necessarily tied to the money, but the system hasn't really been created in such a way to promote innovation and for promote creativity, right? It's like, oh, I hoard money, I give it to my kids, and I give it to their kids' kids, and they don't really have to work, and you know, we don't really have to
Yeah.
innovate, and it's like it kind of changes the dynamic of society to something different. It doesn't mean it's bad, it's just something different, right? But that's not the type of life I want to manifest. That's not the type of world that I envision. That's the most exciting and healthy and collaborative,
Productive. Yeah.
yeah, productive and efficient. So you know, I'd like to see that change, and Prasaga's
Gotcha.
team has thought of everything. They are so thoughtful down to every single little specific thing that they're doing. I think their token is called DGT. Again, not financial advice, not saying you should go buy them or anything along those lines, but that is one L1 that you gotta watch. They're
I
going really
see.
hard on sharding. There's no smart contracts, and you know, I was talking to their CEO, Michael. By the way, Michael, what's up, man? He told me the greatest analogy. He's like, all right, imagine blockchain and Ethereum is like MS-DOS. If you guys remember MS-DOS, it was just like, you know, you got to type in CD slash, you know, C directory dir. So you had this like command prompts online to be able to open up your directories or navigate through, you know, the data or information that sits there, but you only could do one thing at a time, right? Now, imagine Windows 95 or Windows 98 when it came out, and you could have concurrent windows open at the same time doing multiple things, multitasking.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're bringing multitasking into the distributed ledger technology era, where blockchains currently today are all running on MS-DOS because they had to go through a smart contract, and the smart contract are slow, and that's a bottleneck. There's a smart contract, you get a queue of things into the smart contract, and you got to wait. With them, you could parallel process everything on shards on all these people's accounts, and then it does some crazy math to reconcile everything back up into like one, single source of truth. Really cool stuff that they're building.
Dude, that's so cool. I definitely gotta go check it out. Okay, last quick fire question. After that, we're going to do the giveaway. So Cyrus, what's your best learning resource? Where do we find the best learning resource?
Okay, that's a good question. I don't know what the best is, but I'm going to give you a few. So, like the issue with I would say like YouTube's, like Reddit, Twitter, but like there's also a lot of like ways you could go wrong if you're a novice and you don't know what you're doing, right? So that becomes a little tough. So honestly, dude, this might surprise people, but I mean, you can even see that I've got a ton of books stacked up right there. Books is your best
you read them?
resource. I actually sit down and read books, like actual paper books. There's so much knowledge and like there's so much gold in these books that it's so great. So Andreas Kontonopoulos, I can't say his name. He's one of the greatest people that explain Bitcoin and blockchain over the past 5, 6, 7 years, and he does a good job of like breaking it down. So if you're a novice and you want to know an author to get into, definitely get into him. I'll send you a link of his name and some of his 100%. Articles so you could share it with your people. But I'm going to recommend 3 books that have left a profound effect on me over the past couple of years. The first one is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. It's a classic, right? And even though it's Think and Grow Rich, the word rich, it doesn't have to be that. It could be Think and Grow Wealthy, Think and Grow Healthy, Think and Grow, like with the body you want, right? It's a book about how you can manifest and build anything and the type of life you want. It's really cool. The second book is A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. It really helps you do your shadow work and look into who you are really as a person, and disassociates your consciousness and the voice of your head away from the body and the vessel that you're living in this world. And he creates these kind of identities similar to like, Freud and the id and ego and all that kind of stuff, but different, more like in a language that I feel like is more relatable for people today. Another really good book, and it healed me. That book healed me a lot. And the last book, and this also book really healed me, is Humankind by Rutger Bregman. So I got a little sick recently, so I was like bedridden, and I was like couldn't go out. And one of my friends, another amazing human being, Daniela from DeFi Trends, she bought me this book, and she's like, hey, if you're down, you just need to read. And she came and visited me, so super awesome and amazing human being. So anyway, I started reading this book, and the premise of the book was like, hey, there's a secret that society has forgotten. And it's that most people deep down inside are good and decent human beings. And I'm like, oh my God, that's a concept that we forgot. Because again, what we see on media is shootings, people dying, killing, this, that, whatever. And it's brainwashing us to thinking that we're living in a war zone. But in reality, most people are kind and they just want to connect and they want to get to know you. Yeah, there might be some people out there, whatever. But those 3 books have left the biggest profound effect on me. And they don't sound like they're related to blockchain, but they are. Right? Because remember, what is blockchain? Why are we building this? It's just a means to an end to build a better society. So these books are helping me really say, oh, here's how a healthy and efficient system, ecosystem, society, community could look like. And that's helping me then fire off my creativity to be like, oh, okay, now I understand blockchain technologies where I can apply these things to. And if you understand blockchain just a little bit and you read through our course of our history, you could learn from everything and be like, oh, if you only have blockchain technology, then it could solve this. So go learn about blockchain through Andreas Kontonopoulos. His name is so hard to pronounce. But learn about the blockchain 101. Here, I'll tell you right now. Let me Google it. Give me a second. Uh, you want to ask me another question while I look this up?
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. Oh, dude, no, that was the last question, but I do have some other stuff here that I was really interested about. Is that what is something that you, dude? What is something that you wish that you knew before you get into building NFTs? Well, I guess this question doesn't really apply to you, or maybe it does because you've been in NFT before NFT was a thing, right? So that's why I was not sure if I should ask that because you're like the OG in this space. Because when I was in high school, dude, I found out about Bitcoin. It was a couple $1,000 coin. 2017, I was in high school. And I was like, this is a scam, man. Like, who would buy this crap? This is so expensive, and I don't even know what I'm gonna use it for. And it was so hard to get at the time. And then I found out about Crypto Kitty and OpenSea. There was only 3 projects on OpenSea, and Crypto Kitty was one of them. I click into it. They said I can own this little thing, and you can get other things, and it turned into another thing, right? So I'm like, what's the significance of that I can own this thing? Well, at first I didn't really understand because no one ever explained it. But I just thought this question probably doesn't apply to you.
I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, it applies to everybody, dude. Like, I'm just a regular human being, just like you. We're no different, man. But what is one thing I wish I knew before I got into NFTs or building NFTs or even buying NFTs? Um, you know, uh, I'm fortunate enough not to have been, a victim of any type of phishing or anything along those lines. And I have, through the learning of what happened over the past year with like OpenSea hacks and other types of hacks or whatever, that I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right. But I wish I thought about more security measures and how to properly custody these NFTs. I have done it now, and I'll give you a quick primer on what I do. And I didn't do this when I first got into NFTs, but I do it now. I have one address that I do minting, and I accept all the, because your wallet says, hey, can you give a permission to OpenSea to do things with your NFT? I say yes, but I only do it with one wallet that's only made for minting, buying, and selling. But as soon as I finish a transaction, I transfer it into another wallet and I leave it there. And for those people that don't know this, if you have a hardware wallet and you give unlimited permissions to OpenSea, it doesn't matter if you have a hardware wallet. They could still take your NFTs out of your hardware wallet without you actually confirming a transaction, because you already pre-authorized them to do so with the transaction to say, hey, yeah, well, you could do whatever you want, unlimited forever. So if you go to Etherscan, actually here, I want to help you guys out too, because this is a really important thing. If you go to Etherscan and you go to if you click on more tools, token approvals, you could type in your address and see what websites you've given your wallet address permission to do things with your NFT. And if you see some of them on there that you don't recognize, you should revoke them, like turn them off, because that's an attack vector that, because this is so new technology that people really don't understand. I wish I took a little bit more time before I even got into it. And again, like I said, thankfully nothing's ever happened to me, but I was able to do some research and read through what's the proper way of doing this. And like I said, with some of my friends, we were like, yes, create one wallet that does all your transactions, but never keep anything in there. As soon as you get whatever you get, move it into another wallet that doesn't have any authority or authorizations for any website. That way, all your NFTs will stay safe.
Dude, this is great advice, bro, for a lot of folks out there. And I guess now we got to get into the giveaway, man. We got to get into the giveaway. Dude, I'm excited.
Right.
The giveaway went viral, man. Dude, there's at least 4,000 people in that thread.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, do you want to share your screen or something?
Yeah, I'll do it. Let me fix it. Oh, by the way, Andreas Antonopoulos. So there's no K in there. I was thinking about the other basketball player. But anyway, the book I read that was left a really good impact on me was The Internet of Money. Really good book on a primer on blockchain and Bitcoin. I didn't read Mastering Ethereum, but I did skim through it. One of my friends had it, and it was pretty good. I did like it, but watch his YouTube. All his YouTubes are amazing. Andreas Antonopoulos, Antonopoulos, and yeah, there's another funny story about this guy. Just so you understand how awesome this guy is. So I think back in 2017. I think I forgot. Maybe it was through like one of the exchange hacks or something like that. He lost all his crypto, right? Literally, like lost the majority of his crypto. And he's like, guys, and he talked about it online. And the community crowdsourced, and they gave all his money back. Just like they donated it to him because he was such an asset and such
Wow.
a good guy about talking about blockchain and Bitcoin and how things work. Yeah, so this guy is a really good human being. He has a really good heart.
So I
Like
guess
the
some
intent.
folks that listened to the advice and made a lot of money and kind of gave back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what the Web3's culture. That's what it's all about. It's I'll leave off this like one last thing. There's a panda and a dragon walking down a creek, right? And the panda asked the dragon, "Hey, dragon, what's more important, the journey or the outcome?" And we've all heard this question before, and everybody says it's always the journey, right? Or like some people say it's outcome, but it's supposed to be the journey. And the dragon looks at the panda and says, "Panda, my dear friend, it's neither." And the panda's like, "Oh, then what is it?" And the dragon says, "It's the company," right? Like really what all we have in this world is the relationships with people. And bro, Kango, like when I first met you, like we don't know like a bunch of stuff, but like like I know that like I had to see you and meet you as a human being, because that is worth more to me than any type of money or party or anything that I was doing in Austin, because it's the relationships that, like, no one ever goes to their deathbed and be like, I wish I worked more, or I wish I had more money. It's always, I wish I had more time doing cool things with cool people and laughed
Yeah.
more and lived life, right? So yeah, that's another little piece of advice I'll send out to all y'all. It's the journey is important. Yeah, the outcomes are fun. Yeah, absolutely. But it's the company and the people you do it with, and that's what Web3 is all about. It's all about the company. It's all about the community. It's all about bringing people together and having fun. And like, look, there might be some communities that don't fit me, right? And this is why I love the NFT communities, right? You got Bored Apes, you got Azukis, you got Moonbirds, you got you know Quirkies, which is like one of my new favorite communities. They're super fun, right? There's a community for everybody, right? And maybe one doesn't work for you, but that doesn't mean that like you should hate them. Hey, I want you to win, and that's great. You guys could exist there, and maybe one day, there's a saying in my language. I'm Persian. There's a saying that there's two mountains will never cross paths, but humans will always cross paths at some point in life, right? So yeah, maybe today I'm not part of a community, but doesn't mean I won't be part of that community tomorrow. So I'm not trying to like, hate on them or shit on them or anything along those lines. But like, it's like, oh, I'm just grateful to know that there's a community for somebody out there that wants to be part of something, and I have one, or I could be part of multiple. That's the greatest thing about Web3 is freedom, right? You could do whatever you want.
That's right. Yeah.
So
It's all
anyway,
online now.
yeah, yeah, dude. Let me. Do you know a good Twitter picker
No, I've never done
website?
this before.
All right. Let me Google one real quick.
I'm gonna start my ASMR channel.
All right. Retweet picker. Let's see if this one works.
Dude, this is so exciting. Actually, what are we for the folks who don't have the who don't have the screen here? What are we giving away here, man? What is the giveaway, bro? Let's describe a little bit.
All right. All right. Well, yeah, we
Because
didn't
it's
really
so
get to
fun.
talk.
I just wanted to describe this. It's so fun.
All right. All right. So can I get like another 2 minutes to like there's some context I gotta explain. I can't
Oh,
just say
dude, for
exactly
sure,
what it is.
dude.
Yeah. All right.
I'm just afraid that you're busy, right? Like I can go all day because you're so fun.
No, it's all good, dude. All right, so this is where it's at. Um, so ShopX is building e-commerce NFTs, and one of the type of NFTs that we were talking about was that consumer engagement, loyalty that the brands and the consumers could be in this e-commerce system together. So as the brand is making more better products and that's higher demand, then the people who own those NFTs will also see that rising tide, and they could be part of that journey of as the brand is making more money, so can their community that backed them early. And we have one brand that we launched with during NFT NYC called the Mac Park. And the Mac Park is a really cool hype fashion brand out of LA. They sell like streetwear, hype fashion, and really cool fitted caps. Like Mickey's like such a creative, shout out to Mickey, dude, it's my homie. He makes so really cool fitted hats with different color combinations that like no one's ever tapped into before. So check him out, the Mac Park .com, and they're out of LA. They got a couple stores and retail stores there. So anyway, Mickey's a visionary. He saw the future, just like I saw the future for e-commerce and Web3. He's like, hey bro, like let's do this thing together. So I met him a few years ago. We're trying to put Yeezys on the blockchain. When we first met, still a little too soon, that the technology was nascent, but we stayed friends and we stayed in touch. And this past year, I was like, hey, bro, like, I basically went through all my POC, my testing, and I got something. Like, I got a technology that really works, and it helps you, because he had an issue with botting. People will come and bought his drops, and they would sell them in the secondary market for like 10 times the price. Actually, his hats, dude, some of his hats are going for 10x. It's so crazy. Wow. So they sell for retail for 70, but people are selling them on eBay for 700. So these botters naturally come in and buy all the hats and then go sell them. But then they're not, again, it's not about community then. It's all about, money.
Speculation.
So Mickey's like, hey, dude, you have this NFT technology. And if I could sell these NFTs, right, and I could create a new revenue stream for him. And he's like, if I could sell these NFTs, then anybody who holds my NFT could get a guaranteed access or reserve a spot online to get it. And it'll prevent botters from coming in and buying my stuff. I was like, I got you, bro. Yeah, that's what I've been building for the past couple of years, and I perfected it. Dude. Like literally, like ShopX is I keep on saying this. ShopX is the Apple of Web3, dude. The amount of thoughtfulness and their UI, ease of use, dude. Like 50% of the people that went through the Mac Park NFT that we sold during NFT NYC didn't even have a MetaMask, and they downloaded MetaMask, installed MetaMask, bought some ether, put ether into it, and bought his NFT, dude. Like, and they were loving it, dude. I actually have it on my thread. Yeah. Like, so basically what we did for Mickey was like, hey, he was going to drop a few hundred NFTs, and he's like, yeah, these couple hundred NFTs, only my NFT holders are going to have access to buy my hats that he's putting out. So because he doesn't want to be doesn't want to be botted, and he's like, I just want it to be within my community. Right now, he sold out. I mean, the guy made over 100 grand selling NFTs, right? Wow. In 24 hours. So we were able to generate
hours. 100 grand, 24 hours.
Yeah, and it's even crazier because the people loved it. They're like, oh my God, we're like NFT holders, but like a real NFT that has real utility that's going to let me have access to buy this thing. And that NFT is compatible with OpenSea and Shopify. So the Shopify aspects, so you could check out. But dude, they could go sell it on OpenSea if they want to move on to another brand. But why would you? Because Mickey has
I think it makes so much more sense now. Because at first I was thinking, why would people want to, because there's a lot of projects coming out with similar mechanism, right? Using NFT as like a token to gate their merchandise. But a lot of times I'm just thinking, hey, why would I want to buy that, right? But then now it makes sense because there's a lot of products that are really hot, and then it's being spammed by bots and all that stuff, right? They want to guarantee spot is difficult.
Microsoft, Sony, Supreme, y'all need to hit me up. I'm telling y'all need to hit me up, and I'll hook it up. Because like all these problems that you're having getting Xboxes and PlayStations into your actual users' hands, and instead of going to resellers, that then who does that benefit? Microsoft or Sony don't see that profit, right? The consumer ends up paying a lot more money buying it on Amazon third-party seller or on eBay or Craigslist for like $100, $200 more. Kids who want to play the video games are paying more and they don't have the money. It's this middlemen that are coming in and screwing it up for everybody, right? So now I could create a system where I'm like, hey, Xbox, Sony, PlayStation 5, you could sell your NFTs to the people who actually want to buy your products. You can make a little bit of revenue from that. And guess what? All the revenue that's made through people selling the NFT, that's royalties. Right. So you don't have to sell more and more and more and more and more, right? You could just focus on building the fucking best Xbox experience for your consumers.
And if you think about it, the buyers, if you lay out the math, the buyers are having to pay $200 extra, $400 extra for their product anyway because of the middleman. And if you just charge them, I don't know, even just a quarter, you can make a lot of money, and they will be able to join the club and buy the stuff without paying a hefty fee for the future. So I think that makes total sense. Dude, Cyrus, this is amazing. Dude, this is amazing. This is amazing. Okay, so that's now that led us back to the giveaway, right? So the giveaway, how are we going to determine the winner?
Here's the giveaway. So the Mac Park sold out their NFTs. The top tier sold out, I said, in 24 hours, generated over 100 grand and about 100 ETH in revenue for him. I was able to get one of those for the community, for the community. So the winner, whoever this winner is going to be, they're going to get a reverse pink Mocha NFT. But I'm also doing one little more. I'm also giving 1 ETH on top of that. So we're going to give a reverse pink Mocha that was 0.75 ETH at mint. Right now, the floor price on OpenSea is 3, and we're giving you 1 ETH on top of that. We'll send it over. So let me fire up this thing. By the way, how soon are you going to publish this video?
Dude, it can be next Monday, bro.
Okay, all right.
Would that be too late?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll hit you up offline, because I did tell people I'm going to pick the winner today.
Dude, you know what? I published today then.
All right, but hold on. Let me pick the winner first. But I want to do it in a legit way too. So here, I'm gonna share my screen now.
Yeah, more transparent, guys. If we ended up coming out with Kango, it ain't my fault. It ain't rare.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Yeah, this is so crazy. We got 4,293 likes, 4,021 retweets, and 2,500 responses. Which, by the way, this is unofficial, but last time I looked, this is so funny, dude. I love my community. It's so funny. Mark Cuban got 2,000 votes, and Gary Vee got 500 votes. So the way you enter the giveaway was you had to follow ShopX, you had to like and retweet, and you had to tag whether if you think Gary Vee or Mark Cuban was the bigger NFT heavyweight, right? At the beginning, it was Gary Vee. He had the lead. He was winning 100 to 50 by twice as much. And then about halfway through, it was about with about 500 responses, it was tied 250, 250. And then Mark Cuban, I don't know from where, he went on a rampage. Everybody.
Yo, dude, I voted for him twice, dude.
Bro, you put it twice, dude. All right.
Oh no, I shouldn't have said that.
Automatic disqualification.
Oh no, but it's okay.
That was all good, dude. So the cool thing is, I hope Mark Cuban got to see a glimpse of the power of this new e-commerce system that we're building with ShopX. I love to talk to you, Mark. I know you got a lot of community, a lot of brands, that are kind of getting into Web3 or not even in Web3. Dude, I would love to start bridging that gap between Web2 and Web3 and bringing your consumers and your communities onto Web3 in a fun way, something that's really cool and just gives back to everybody, and it's a win-win situation. So hopefully this will get his attention, and we'll chat soon. But like I said, dude, I'm a master manifester. I already put it out on Twitter, and it's written in the stars. I will meet Mark Cuban. We will work together. That will happen.
Dude,
I'm excited for it. But anyway, so that was how the giveaway started, right? And like I said, we got a lot of great engagement. So here is a picture of the pink Mocha. Like I said, the price that we sold, the mint price was 0.75, and it sold out in 24 hours.
And it's the first one?
It was the first one on ShopX, the first ShopX e-commerce NFT. And then a lot of people loved it. They're like, oh my God, we're NFT holders. My first NFT, my first real NFT. And that's honestly, honestly, that is the greatest thing that came out of all this to me. All the money and all that kind of stuff is good, but just to see regular people out there in this world getting into NFTs and be like, dude, this is so cool. We got something that honestly brings a lot of joy to my heart.
Spreading the gospel.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and this is me just manifesting, wanting to talk to Mark Cuban. But Mickey even came out and did a YouTube, so go follow me and listen to his like whole journey of how he talks about how he got to where he is and why he wanted to do this thing and why he sees this as the future of e-commerce. It's there. I mean, it's not just him. Like there's like, Adidas signed a deal with Bored Apes. They're doing like their whole like tracksuit. Like it's happening. This is something that is happening. This is not something that like it might happen tomorrow or whatever. Like even metaverses right now. We think it's gonna happen. We're pretty sure it's gonna happen.
I think
a lot of people are building. But I mean, look at VR. We've been talking about VR for like 10 years and it hasn't really happened. Yeah, we have Oculus, but like only like a few people have it, right? But Web3 NFT e-commerce is happening. It's a real thing. It's here now. Like, and I'm just happy to be here and being one of the innovators and trailblazers in the space that could leave a great impact on society by building this cool stuff. But anyway, let's get down to picking this winner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this this tweet. I'm going to go put the tweet into here to verify the tweet. Oops, no,
it's good.
Sorry. There it is.
It's getting real.
So I'm going to load the tweet.
So Kango, I manifest. I manifested. I'm going to get this
ShopX Labs. All right. The profile must have, doesn't have anything, but they need to be active, right? That's cool. Last tweet this past week, at least 6 months. All right.
But just for the record, the moment right now it's what day is today? This is July
1st.
July 1st, Friday at 3:35 p.m. here in Texas. And we're doing this.
All right, let's find out who's the winner. All right, we got, so there's 3,800 people eligible. And by the way, I got to go verify that this person actually won and they tagged something. So we might have to draw a few people if they did.
Yeah.
All right, but all right, dude, I'm rooting for you, dude. Fingers crossed. All right, we're beginning the draw. All right, it looks like we got a winner, Drake.
Nice, so Drake.
Let's see what this guy has got.
Drake, let's see Drake. Oh, dude.
All right.
He's a handsome dude.
All right. He's in LA too. Awesome. You could check out. All right, but we got to go to my tweet. Hold on.
Dude, this is so cool. This is so cool. I can't wait. When we release this, because this is my first time in this giveaway open box process. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I think it's Drake. I got to go and verify that he actually tagged Mark Cuban or Gary Vee, because this technology did not do so. But if he is the winner, then it's going to be Drake. If not, I'm going to click redraw, and I'm going to have the ID of this. So you could do the draw verification. So now that we have this one, I will share the draw verification just so everybody knows that this wasn't me picking my homies or anything along those lines. We'd really just randomly pick somebody right now. So most likely it's going to be Drake. I will verify he did put a tag. I will tag him. I'll message him. I'll give him a few days. So it honestly, dude, because it's going to take me a day to reconcile this. I will. You can publish this in a day or two. So no rush. All right, dude. Yeah. We'll talk about this offline. But dude, hey, Cyrus, thank you so much for hopping on the show, man. This has been the longest and one of the juiciest episode here on About the JPEG. Dude, this is so genius. I love it. You're such a genius, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. Thanks. No, I'm grateful to be on. Thank you for having me on your show. I love to come back anytime, dude. Let's make this happen.
Dude, I gotta have you back, man.